How has hip hop changed over time? Well, to give you a bit of a history lesson, culture of hip hop was the birthplace of the South Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx. 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. It was born on August 11th, 1973 by DJ Kool Herc, Grandmaster Caz, the Cool Crush Brothers, African Bambaataa, just to name a few of the pioneer father MCs. So to any hip hop head watching this, if you don't know that history, then do your homework and do your research on it to respect and just like know a little bit of the in depth of where this culture came from, because obviously we can have our influences in our own circles that we look up to now. Like with me, when I grew up in the early thousands era, I had Eminem, 50 Cent, DMX, Nas, oh man, like Tupac, like all those guys. But I mean, to be a great representation of what hip hop is, or even be a respected MC, or just a respected hip hop head in general, really learn the pioneer of where it came from. Really learn, the founding fathers, the Boogie Down Bronx, the New York, to like how it's become so universal, and I feel that's the problem of what's happened with hip hop over the evolution of time, when it's become such a marketing platform of culture and music. A lot of these, they say hip hop tend to be a teenage, new kid side thing. I was 14 when I jumped into it, but I feel like now with social media and a platform where everyone can have a voice or even showcase something to the world, it kind of gets saturated with immaturity and stupidity. I feel that these new kids now, like, they just doing hip hop because it's cool, or it's like the now thing to do, and this whole mumble rap and trap, it's like, I feel like it's a sabotage on what hip hop once was, because hip hop was built on uniqueness and having a message and having a voice and using that power of rhythm and poetry to express something to the world, of something that you verbally couldn't say up front, like I'm doing now. It would spark an interest of someone saying, yeah, like, I never thought of it this way, or yeah, like I've got the same opinions as that, because it was through this rhythmic flow of way of sending a message across. And I feel that, yeah, it's cool to have, like the party tracks and those tracks to get the people up in the club and stuff. But I mean, what it's doing now with promoting like the guns, the drugs, the money, the narcissistic way of behavior, women sexualizing their bodies just to make a few dollars and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm the new rapper, or yeah, I'm hip hop. And it's like, man, like come on, I mean, it's just that's corny to me. I mean, as an artist myself, social media is great to promote, our brands and our, marketing and our talents. But at the same time, I feel that the narcissistic stupidity, or this whole called viral way, is more overlapping of what true talent is out there. And I mean, constantly I will see on World Star Hip Hop, or my Instagram or YouTube or some of these blogs, it'll just be like this new kid, and it's like this mumble, or this just tattooing their face up and being like, yeah, I'm like the new rapper and stuff, and it's like, like F with the pioneers, or I don't care where it comes from, I'm just getting money. And then I'll go like World Star Hip Hop the next day, and it'll be like another one, and it's like, just dumb, ridiculous shit. And I guess I'm getting on my soapbox like one of these old guys, saying I wish it was back in my time with the 90s and the thousands. But I feel like the 90s and the thousands, the reason why I get up on my soapbox is there was something so pure about those artists. Like, I mean, I was like spoon-fed so much greatness, like Nas, Wu-Tang Clan, man, Biggie and Tupac, Big L, Big Pun. Man, I could go down like the whole list, and they all had their individual uniqueness and style about them. And when you listen to their albums, I call it taste testing. You know, some albums you can listen to, it's like, yeah, that's a dope flow and that's a dope album. But then there's some albums where you can taste it. You can literally transport and visualize yourself into that world, which is like, I can taste the gritty streets of New York, or, you know, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, like with that synthesizer that they used to use, which made it so popular. Like, you can feel yourself riding like in a Cadillac, you know, just down Crenshaw or something. And nowadays it's just all it is that tap tap beat drum, tap tap beat drum, and then mumble on a track, and it's like so sabotage, which it makes me think, how are the teenagers now eating this up? Because like, maybe I've got something like wrong with my ears or something. Like, I've tried to give it a listen, but it's not the same. It's just straight garbage. But without the music standpoint side of things, I feel that the biggest problem we have compared to old school hip hop with today's generational hip hop is there's no respect for it anymore. Like, I mean, I know dudes in garage bands that, you know, they're like, I want to be like the Rolling Stones, Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses, oh man, you know, like the Beatles, Queen and stuff. And just like, you know, people in our fathers and our mothers and fathers' age, just who they see doing it in their 70s and their 80s, and they're just like, I want to be like Mick Jagger, I want to be like Keith Richards, you know. And then when it comes to hip hop, it's just be like, it's like, yo, like, you know, fuck Tupac, or yeah, you know, like, I don't care if it came from like the streets of New York and how influential it was, I'm just doing my own, I'm getting money. That narcissistic mindset is what's killing the hip hop culture, you know, because like, I feel that real hip hop heads, real ones that dedicate themselves to the craft, or really love and learn where it's come from, gets pushed out of the limelight and thrown in the back corner compared to the buffoonery that's what's going on now. And a lot might say, oh, Muggsy, you know, you're just like, you're not searching for the real you're not searching for the real talent, or you're not searching for, you know, the good music that's out there. But that's the problem. That's what I was saying with the spoon-fed thing. Back, you know, in the 90s and the thousands, or even the 80s and, you know, the 70s, we were spoon-fed so much greatness, we didn't have to look for it. You know, whackness wasn't accepted and respected in the house of hip-hop. Like, if you were a whack MC, if you didn't have bars, or if you came with a corny image, or just on some buffoonery shit, like, you'll just be, you know, you'll be chucked out. Like, you'll just be like, man, get out of here, do your own. Like, if you're doing your own lane, that's cool, but if you're doing it in the house of hip-hop, get the fuck out, honestly. And I'm getting angry now because I'm visualizing these dumbass artists, but like, they get respected and praised now. I mean, like, you know, this Tekashi 6ix9ine thing, snitching on everyone, and he's still getting praised for it. Like, I mean, like, is that how fake hip-hop has become? Or even society that's willing to accept dumbed down, low-grade, you know, bubblegum lyrics? I mean, you know, it's just like, I mean, it's sad in a sense, you know. And I always get, will it ever be the same once again? And to be honest, I can't predict the future, but the way that it's going right now, I mean, it all depends on the person's perspective. And this whole social media kind of way that we're doing it, like, back in the day, we would purchase albums or mixtapes, you know, and I mean, we would actually invest into artists. Like, I mean, like, for example, if Eminem brought out an album, right? The first album will be dope. The second album, not so much, right? But we would never just dismiss him. We would just be like, we would constantly always, you know, represent him, and always like try and figure out what's the next project he's going to be, you know, be like, you know, what's the next, you know, maybe it might be another flop, or maybe it might be a great. Nowadays, it's this hot or not mentality. It's like 1 minute they're hot, 1 minute they're not. And I mean, like, there's no investing into artists anymore. And I feel like that's another big thing of why there's so much dumbed down artists, because it's like, oh, he made this like, this catchy melody song, and the rest of his catalog is straight garbage, man. But he'll be forgotten, and then the next one, then the next one. And I mean, like, when you have a dedicated artist, so dedicated to their work, and loves it for what it's worth, and every track is good, but maybe they've probably got 200 SoundCloud likes because, it's not the hot new viral thing or the hot new thing on the iPhones and the social media. They're probably like working a desk job, man, struggling to, fund their dreams and stuff. That's the problem I have, not just with modern day hip hop, but modern day the music industry. So I know I was rambling a bit, but to cut, even though I was rambling, to cut it short, all I want hip hop to be, once again, was to tell these new kids, if you want to get in the house of hip hop, or even respect the culture, or even respect the game, and just to be dedicated and accepted as a true MC, then just respect where the culture came from. Like, yes, you can have your artist and your influencers and people in your own circle and bubble, but I mean, if you really learn where it came from, to like, the 70s, the boogie down Bronx, the 80s, which was like, the funk, the 90s, which was the raw and grittiness, and then like, the thousands, which was like, it was a bit of a commercial element, but mixed in with all those flavors to what it is now and how it's became so universal. I feel like having that elements, knowledge and insight into where hip-hop, the birth of it, came from, to how it's become so universal with all the artists stemmed along the way, it would make you more of a intelligent, intellectual, and guaranteed better MC compared to the garbage that's in it now. I mean, just like quit the buffoonery, like quit the immaturity garbage, man. Like, I mean, it's ran its course, and I don't know why it's still existing. So that's all I can say from your boy MUGZY in Sydney. Just respect hip hop on its truest form. So that's my answer for that question. And yeah, who do I feel like is holding the torch? Man, to be honest, on the top of the dome, I feel like R.A. the Rugged Man, 100%, and he needs to get back on Vlad TV because I loved his interviews on there. R.A. the Rugged Man, Brother Ali, man, Russ, 100%, like the interviews that I've seen with him, like on The Breakfast Club and Ebro in the Morning, man, like knowing that he knew exactly how the music industry works, so he went to the independent game and just produced that original flavor market, because that's what he grew up on and what I grew up on, man. And he could see that the hip hop genre was lowering its market, and he was like, this is a problem with the music industry. I'm going to try and showcase it and take it into an independent route, and if I get to that showcase shine, I'm still going to do it, because I feel like artists that do get signed to the labels turn to the bubblegum flavor, the corny flavor. I've made it on an independent level, and I'm going to try whatever I can to bring back that vibe of the true core nation of hip-hop. So, man, like, props to Russ, man. I mean, like, that's what I need to see more artists doing, in this new phony, corny generation where we're living in, man. I love seeing those artists now that can see something wrong with it, or see that corny shift with it and be like, nah, I'm not following this trend like everyone's doing, or even just, because it's like the now cool thing to do. I'm gonna really live on the roots and stuff. Yeah, the roots and the bolts of where, I came from and what I loved, and try and escalate that into this new insight of a generation, shred some insight. So Russ, 100%. Who else did I say? R.A. the Rugged Man, Brother Ali, man. Action Bronson, dude. Action Bronson, man. Honestly, everyone would know him because of the beef that he had with Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan. Like, kind of sounded like him, of that New York slang. But man, to be honest, that was funny as all hell. Like that was funny when I was researching into that. and like, you know, because I'm from Australia, I'm not from New York, but you know, obviously we've got the internet to learn about that. But that was hella funny, man. But at the same time, Action Bronson's, you know, music or interviews or even Fuck That's Delicious show, he's just a lovable kind of guy, man. And you know, I mean, he's just real chilled back. He's not about like the flashy kind of lifestyle. He just loves music, loves food, loves chopping it up, and just loves hip hop, man. So Action Bronson. So I mean, to anyone who hasn't checked out his work, definitely go check it out because he's another dope MC. So yeah, who do I have? So I've had R.A. the Rugged Man, Brother Ali. With Brother Ali, right, I'm just going to put this out there. Check out his interview he did where he met Rakim. That is one of the funniest interviews I've seen, man. Like, 100%. You know, like, I replay it, like, sometimes during the week just for a laugh because Rakim is, like, my number one dude that I love. But that story of how they were on the hip-hop tour and, you know, shopping at Kmart for, you know, underwear and going to McDonald's and, like, just doing all the tour stuff, knowing that the god Rakim used to do that kind of stuff, even though he did it in sort of a cool kind of way. I'm not even going to get into detail, but check out the video, Brother Ali and Rakim. Man, you'll have a blast. You'll crack yourself laughing at that one. So, yeah, R.A. the Rugged Man, Brother Ali, Russ, Action Bronson, and man, there's got to be one more to like top the 5 because I've only got 4. There's got to be 5. I can't forget him, man. Honestly, I'm just going to take this on a wing here. A baseball bat out of here, but Insane Clown Posse, man. Honestly, it's so random to say, but Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. We all know the beef that they had in the 90s and, you know, the early 2000s with Eminem. But the way and the culture they're bringing for the Juggalo community and just people who feel like an outsider or who don't belong or just feel like an outcast in life and get chucked in, you know, in the darkness, and then they're the ones who will be like, yes, we are different. It's funny, like, we are different, but we're kind of equal in the same way. It's like a, you know, sort of a, I guess, a mold in a sense where, you know, it's like we feel different, but at the same time we are human, so we are equal. I think there's kind of a beauty in that, and I feel the Juggalo community and ICP, Insane Clown Posse, I mean, even going the independent route, because a lot of labels and marketing crews and just high up corporations didn't want to, you know, roll with them like that, because of what they weren't promoting what most artists were doing about the flashy lifestyle. I'm not going to get into detail about it because I'll be here for hours, but I mean, the independent route, what they've done and what they've built with, like, you know, gathering of the Juggalos, the wrestling shows they put on, I mean, the Juggalo March, just giving that voice to someone in need or someone that feels like an outcast is such a beautiful thing, man. And I feel like they get a lot, and I mean a lot of shit. You know, I mean, it's just like, oh, these whack motherfuckers with, you know, the white face paint and the clown makeup on and stuff. They're corny, man. Like, they don't know anything about hip-hop, man. Is that how narcissistic and evil and disgusting we are as society? Like, you see someone good doing something great for their community or even great for someone that doesn't have anything or doesn't feel like they're part of society, and then this family comes in and you know, gives them something, and it's like, nah, man, that's whack, that's corny, like that. And then meanwhile you're probably going out there and purchasing, man, some fucking, I don't know, mumble rap, bloody, you know, ass and tits and fucking, you know, money and guns and shit. And it just shows like the level of insecurity and insight that you have for the world, and I mean, your own values and your own self-expression of the person you are, man. To be, like, obviously when I was a kid, man, I was so obsessed with Eminem that when he was doing the whole dissing against, you know, Insane Clown Posse, it was like, yeah, like, you know, fuck those clown face paint, you know, like, whatever M says goes. But when I've gotten older and more mature, and I've really seen what they've done over the course of the years with what they've done with their own families and communities. And like I said, I'm not going to mention it all again, but what I did mention, it's just 100% they're up there, man. And they love hip hop, man. Yeah, like they love the greats as well. Like, they're more. I've seen in interviews they're more on the West Coast kind of thing with like the gangster rap. Like they love dudes like Ice-T and NWA and Schoolie D and Too Short and stuff. But they also love, like the New York flavor with the Boogie Down Bronx and stuff. But majority of the interviews I've seen, somehow they just love the West Coast kind of vibe, even though they're Detroit cats, which is kind of funny. But man, so ICP 100%. If they ever come back to Australia, I'm definitely buying tickets, man, because I would super love to meet Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, man. Like they are just, they're even up there on my influences, man, because they're so lovable, but also so respectable in my own eyes of what they're just doing for someone here, that doesn't have anything. So if you're a hip hop head or even just a fan of making change, go check out ICP and everything what they're doing, Insane Clown Posse, man, because man, it just brings chills, like just brings a warmth and chills to me, man, of like just the greatness that they're doing. So who do we have? We've got R.A. the Rugged Man, Brother Ali, Russ, Action Bronson, and Insane Clown Posse, Violent J, and Shaggy 2 Dope. Those are the ones that I can think of at the top of the dome who are holding the torch. And as a hip hop head and a natural, and I guess you can say an all-around hip-hop kiddo, 5 Element, MUGZY boy, go check him out, all those 5 artists. So yeah, and international choice to honor rap history in your own style. International choice to honor rap. International choice. International choice. To honor rap history or even just hip hop in general, I mean, find out why you love it or what you're doing it for. I mean, it could be to change an aspect in your life to make, the better of good, or, you want to voice your own opinion on just changing something, because that's what hip hop was built on, having that so-called rhythm and poetry message to voice to communities or worldly views, or even just insights and standpoints to make a change that verbally we couldn't do. So I mean, the reason I used hip-hop is as an adolescent teenager, like I said at the first of this interview, struggling with depression and anxiety, and just using it to at least give back to someone that's going through the same as me. And I mean, I knew from a young age, yes, I did have my core bubble of MCs to look at, but I felt that to be guaranteed as a true representation of hip-hop and a guaranteed MC, I didn't want to do it as a music standpoint. I wanted to learn, because this is a culture. Yes, black, white, Asian, Mexican, Indian, whatever, universal. Even to countries that can't speak English, it's not their native language, they still know what hip-hop is, which is insane. But I felt that of how overwhelmingly massive that is of a culture, instead of just a music standpoint, I had to learn that to make me a true representation of it, and just not doing it in a phony way, in a lovable kind of way. Because yes, there is dudes out there that are phony and really take it for granted, man. But with me, I mean, it's like I said, it's incorporated with who I am. The way that I talk, walk, dress, my insights on life. People that know me know I'm somehow associated or affiliated with this culture of hip-hop, man. Or even that people don't know me and they just see my name get chucked around a bit, they know that I'm associated with this culture of hip-hop. And I'm so thankful for that, because, I mean, just a young teenager that was looking up to his idols, man, like Eminem and looking at the posters on my wall, man, you know, and being like, I want to be like those guys someday, or even be respected in this culture, or just be somehow associated with it somehow. And then over the course of time, really giving it my all and my guarantee and my self well-being as a person, like my overall whole as a person, to now that's what people know me by. Like words can't even express that, man. Just knowing that we only get one shot at life, like on this earth, and knowing that over the course of time now, you know, I'm 28, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever, even if I make it to 70, but that's another story. That I was associated with hip-hop and I was a true representation of what it was. I'm thankful for that, because that's all I really was highly set out for. And I feel that any kid, or any teenager kid, or anyone that wants to get into the house of hip-hop, hopefully you take that as an inspirational message, because I mean, that is the only way you will be a true representation core of this quote-unquote culture of hip-hop, man, because you really gotta love it, you know, not as a phase, not because it's viral, not because it's the new thing now, or even, you know, my friends are doing it, so I should do it. Find why you love it and what you're doing it for, and respect where it's come from, and respect it within you, and then that will branch your core as a true representation of a true hip-hop head. And that's all I'm going to say for this interview. Hopefully it gives you guys an insight on my answers, the questions that were given to me. But once again, check me out at MUGZY on Facebook, MUGZY, but to worldwide viewers, that's MUGZY. You know, send me an inbox, keeps you up to updates with what's going on in my career, such as updates, the albums, all that jazz. But if you're an upcoming MC, or whatever the case may be, or want to have a chat, hit me up. And once again, support my career. And actually, you know what? To end this off, support the 5 elements of hip-hop: MCing, graffiti, breakdancing, b-boying, and the last one, the golden rule, knowledge. And that's all I'm going to say from Sydney, Australia, the land down under. It's your boy MUGZY, tuning out. Peace!